Hello, hello, hello. We are live. Hello, and welcome to today's stream, which is around the mindset to be invisible and the motivation to being seen. Now, if you saw the write up around this video for the topic that we're going to be covering here, you'll know that it has a lot to do with mindset, in my definition, how we think about things, and in a way, our ability to think about things differently. So, if you've ever wondered why or what it actually takes to achieve your own visibility dreams, your own visibility goals, your own visibility desires, then this video is definitely for you. Now, I come across a lot of people who are really brilliant, really powerful, very motivational, and totally inspiring. And it's like a journey that we all take. I include myself in this. We start off struggling with ways to have what we do be seen, to be taken seriously, to be heard and listened to. We sometimes, like, if we're the person doing the thing, sometimes it's harder for us to see clearer ways to articulate that, to share that, to make that visible in the world. Therefore, sometimes the work we do isn't understood. And this is especially true to those of you who are freelancers, consultants, service-based businesses. So quite often you're selling a service that can't be seen. And then the next part of the journey is this kind of wondering, how best can I put myself out there? How best can I have my work be known? How best can I have my brand be known, what I do be known? So I wanted to share a story about stationery. Now, if you really knew me, you would know I love stationery. I was once privately quoted as saying to a friend that I thought I needed a sponsor because I was walking through Greenwich and I saw a stationery shop that I hadn't seen before. I'm going to shout out Postmark because they're brilliant. Their cards, their stationery are just off the chain. And I got to the door and I literally stood like this outside the door, took a deep breath and went in. I didn't go in for anything, but I came out like 90 quid lighter and a whole host of sticky notes with flamingos on, and a couple of my favorite notebooks that have got numbered pages. And I realized at that point, this is not necessarily the healthiest thing to be doing, especially if you're a proper stationery lover. You will definitely have at least 2 or 3 notebooks that are really beautiful, really pretty, but you've maybe never written in. So what has stationery and all of this got to do with being visible and like the mindset of being visible and the motivation of being visible? Well, I'm about to tell you the humble story of this pen, because I promised you in the write-up that I would tell you the story of a pen, a simple story, but one that I think will resonate with most of you. So if you are watching and you would like to, and you can, do let me know where in the world you're watching from, and or just say hi, or just continue watching, and thank you for the love heart there. So I love my stationery, I love my notebooks, I love my pens. This actually very rarely happens to be a black inked pen, but if you've ever seen me in the flesh, maybe we've sat in a workshop together or been in a mastermind or program of some sort, I always have a number of pens with a number of different color inks. It actually helps me to remember stuff, and I've been like this for a few decades now. So just yesterday, I was preparing for a presentation that I'm going to be doing, a talk that I'm going to be giving, and I had a blue pen, a red pen, and this black pen, and I was writing down the important elements of what I wanted to say. And when it got to the pieces that I wanted to write in black, I used this pen. But the problem was the pen, like the nib on the pen, seems to be worn down and was close to running out. So every time I wrote, this grey, scratchy line came out. But what did I do? This was interesting to me when I reflected afterwards. I continued to double back. So let's say I was drawing an S. I continued to double back, which meant I had to do this 3 or 4 times before it even looked like a normal letter on the page. Before, I didn't get this grey, grainy, half attempt of a letter. What that meant was, it meant that everything I wrote with the black ink took me maybe 4 times longer than it needed to be. So what happened was, I'd allocated just 15 minutes just to write out my thoughts, because after all, they were all in my head. I didn't have to research them or anything. So I took, I allocated these 15 minutes just to write out my notes. But I realised at about 25 minutes, it was taking me longer. And I thought, this is strange. Why is that? Now, many people that I speak to, like I said, brilliant, savvy, smart people will say, oh, I procrastinated, or I self-sabotaged, or I took longer because, whatever your reason or their reason is. When the true fact of the matter was, I was using the pen that actually needed throwing out. And the only reason I didn't throw it out yesterday, you can see I kind of bent it in half to remind myself that I needed to put it in the bin. But the reason I didn't throw it out was, when I had this realization that I'm about to share with you, I wanted to keep this just for this live stream as a reminder of what we often do. So our mindset is set that there's the thing we want to do when it comes to being visible. Maybe we want to do more video. Maybe we want to speak more. Maybe we want to get paid to speak, because we've done a lot of free speaking. Maybe we want to just put our work out there more. Maybe we're about to launch a new service or product. Maybe you're about to go into a different sector and want people to know what value you can bring. Maybe you've been studying your thing and you want to now bring that into your current world or your current work. And here's what we do. We metaphorically decide we want to do something and then use the most ineffective method of getting ourselves out there. The pen that doesn't work so well, the pencil that needs sharpening, the training that we think might be okay. We'll just look at what they're doing and model, or copy that because you like that and you think it will work for you. And it just gave me this realization that, much like a blunt saw, it's going to take us a lot longer to get to where we need to be. So this isn't a video about you have to do this or you have to do that or you have to do it even with me. This is around the mindset, how we think about the way we want to be visible, the motivation to being seen. And often, if we take a moment to think about where that comes from, where that started from, we will be going in the direction that we want to in leaps and bounds. We don't need to compare ourselves to others. We don't need to have a look at what someone else is doing to get validation to think that we're on the right path or not. Because once we've got it clear in our mind and we think differently about it, we actually think more clearly about what we want to do next. So, what does it actually take to achieve our visibility, dreams, and desires? So many people come to me with misconceptions of this. I need to be a clearly articulated speaker with good diction. I need to have English as my first language so that everybody understands what I say, because no one likes an accent. I call baloney on that. The way you look, the gender you're born into, the sexuality you are, the religion that you follow, none of that has anything to do with being seen. None of that has anything to do with being visible. And whilst so many people, especially if you're in the personal development or coaching space, you would have likely done a lot of work, a lot of self-reflection to look at what drives you, what doesn't drive you, what stops you, what motivates you, what pushes you. When we get into the black hole of, I don't think anyone really understands what I do, or I need to go out there and be visible in a whole new way than I've been before, or I need to put myself in front of a bigger audience, a different audience, a new audience, sometimes that's enough to shake our foundations. So if we don't consider the mindset stuff first, what goes in our head first, what we find ourselves doing is doing the thing, perhaps thinking it's not quote unquote working, and then we'll go into the place that really stops us. And that will be hidden from ourselves until the words come out of our mouth and we're lucky enough to hear them or spot them, Or, in many conversations that I've had, people have said something, and I've said, well, how does this thing mean that that thing happens? And then we've kind of both gone, oh, that's what's been stopping us. So think about like your intentions, what you want to bring into the world, and think about doing it differently, doing it your way. There's a whole lot more I could say on this, but I'm not going to kind of do a whole another extra long live stream. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, obviously, because I put it in the title, was our motivation. And one of the things, hey, Marie. Hi, Marie. Good to see you. I'm going to read your comments and come back to you in a sec. One of the other things that people often struggle with is the motivation to being seen. And it's so interesting. People will tell me their reasons why they don't want to be seen or why it's difficult to be seen. And I'm not one of those people that dismisses or poo-poos someone's reality, somebody's lived experience and somebody's path that they've trodden. Often that is the thing that stops them. But what is refreshing to know is your motivation to be seen comes from whatever is underneath or behind that. So if we can scoop that up like some sand and start to explore that, that's when we start to distill what's really going on and we can make a difference. So so Marie's brought up some really good points. She said, sometimes other people spark my inspiration for what to say. And this is interesting. I love this. Marie may have come across this, and some of you might have too. Many years ago, I had a human design reading. And one of the parts of my human design reading, done by a lovely lady called Marianne, who I don't think she does them anymore. I wish she did, because we went on to have a number of calls where she broke down everything on the chart. And one of the things on my chart is, as a manifesting generator, and for some of you listening to this, you'll be like, what are you talking about? But as a manifesting generator, it's like I've got this energy, I've got this engine, and people have alluded to this for years, and I've kind of gone, oh, thank you, and kind of been a bit, embarrassing. But people have said that sometimes they experience being with me, it's like a force, like a vibe. Quite often people to this day will still say, you've got a vibe about you. And I put it down to this engine, this manifesting, generating engine. And one of my blessings, I guess, is that because of that, not only do I zizz up my energy 100%, 110, 150, 200%, but when people are speaking to me, they will often get sparks of inspiration, not because I'm doing anything to them, but because they're in that energetic space as well. So if I'm speaking to someone who's at 30%, and I'm not asking anyone to out themselves, but if you've experienced that with me, maybe you've had a call with me and had a chat with me about something and started off feeling a bit, I don't know where to start. I'm overwhelmed, I'm frustrated. And then by the end of the conversation have said, I feel so much better now. I feel lighter. I feel ready to face the world. The reason for that will be because of this human design that I have. I'm not the only one in the world with it. But part of my human design, when you look at all the pieces together, mean that other people will often be sparked from being in that energy. And I myself will experience that as well. So I'm not the only person in the world that does it. So when Marie says sometimes other people spark my inspiration for what to say, absolutely, it could come from that. It could come from a lot of other things as well. But what I do know about Marie, because I have met Marie in the flesh a number of times, what I know about Marie is that she has her own certain type of gold, her own certain kind of gold. And I think, Marie, that when you are with other people, that your own gold starts to be drawn out of you because you recognize something in them, you see something in them, and it's actually that juices you. So whilst I know you've said other people spark your inspiration, I feel like your inspiration's already there. But, when you're speaking to someone else, it just kind of ignites a spark. So they become almost like a catalyst for the gold that's already there. That's my thoughts. All other opinions, of course, are accepted. Um, and she says, I don't love my Essex accent. I'm not sure why I love accents so much, but I do. I love them. I have done since I was a child. Maybe because my parents came from the lovely island of Barbados and I grew up with accents. And around me, even though maybe not so much at school, although I did have a Czechoslovakian teacher who used to teach us how to play chess, even though I've forgotten all these years later. I've always loved accents ever since I was a child. And it's very rare for me to hear somebody speaking English with an accent and not understand what they're saying. I love the nuances of their accents. I love the nuances of the Essex accent. I actually spent a lot of time in Brentwood. Essex, I love it. Any accent, there's not an accent that I really don't love. And from a visibility perspective, from a point of being seen and being heard and being memorable, what better way to stand out than to have an accent? So I would invite anyone with their accent, ham it up. You'll be the person that's remembered because of your accent. Own who you are, own what you're about, and put it out there anyway. Because the thing that I know for sure, it's definitely not the reason that somebody wouldn't work with you, buy from you, employ you, promote you, put them on your stage. It just isn't. Okay. So go forth, be awesome, and be brilliant. So what I want to say today, unless anyone's got any other questions, I'm going to wrap up for now. You can see some of these and some of the older videos that I've done, and I've been doing quite a few of them over the last 12 years, coming on for 13 years now. We've switched over on my YouTube channel. If you just look for @Jenny Kovacs, you'll find some of the videos on there. Or have a little scrape through some of the videos here on my Facebook page, The Queen of Being Seen. I'd love to hear more about what you want to be more visible, more known for throughout this year and beyond, this month and beyond. I'd love to hear. So if you're not part of the Visibility Vibes Tribe already, then hop in there. It's a nice space where you can share what you want to do without the eyes of family and friends that you're normally associated with on Facebook seeing what you share. And also today there's a post in there where I'm asking, well, what motivates you? Or, how have you motivated other people? What kind of things have you learned in your journey of like mindset and thinking differently? Because you all bring value to the table. You all bring gold. So I'd love to hear more about that. So for now, I say goodbye. Thank you for watching. And I will be back tomorrow at about 11:30 time, where I'll be sharing. What will I be sharing tomorrow? I can't even remember, and I probably can't see it now. But let me just pop up the slide. In fact, I can cheat and have a look on here. This is today's, and that's a picture of me looking really sweaty and swollen in the face because I've just finished a marathon. And yes, tips and techniques on being seen and being heard. And did you know? So if there's anything that you are particularly stuck with, let me know. And if you let me know at least an hour before tomorrow, then I'll be able to anonymously include it for you to protect your privacy. I'm Jenny Kovacs, the Queen of Being Seen, the visibility queen there. And I'm passionate about helping you put yourself out there and to be more visible, whether it's through speaking, through video, or through a number of those things. This year is an exciting year. Can't wait to share the good news with you. And I look forward to hearing more and seeing more of you out there online. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. And thanks, Marie, for sharing. Bye for now.